Iran is in the midst of its largest anti-government protests in years, now entering their 13th day. The unrest began over economic grievances, but has quickly evolved into a broader challenge to the Islamic Republic, with some protesters calling for the end of the government and even a return of the monarchy. Supreme Leader's Statement. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei labeled the protesters as troublemakers, attempting to please the President of the U.S. In a televised address on Friday, Khamenei, 86, said, "Let everyone know that the Islamic Republic came to power through the blood of several 100,000 honorable people, and it will not back down in the face of those who deny this." Later, speaking to supporters, he doubled down. Iran will not shirk from dealing with destructive elements. Iran blames the U.S. Iran's UN ambassador sent a letter to the United Nations Security Council accusing the United States of turning the protests into violent subversive acts and widespread vandalism through interference and deliberate encouragement of instability. Casualties and arrests. Human rights groups report that at least 48 protesters and 14 security personnel have been killed. The U.S.-based human rights activist news agency, HRNA, said more than 2,277 people have been arrested, while the Norway-based Iran human rights NGO, IHNGO, reported at least 51 deaths, including 9 children. International media faces severe restrictions, with many outlets, including the BBC, barred from reporting inside Iran. The BBC has confirmed the identities of 22 of the deceased by speaking to their families. Protests across Iran. Protests have been reported in at least 67 locations. Verified footage shows demonstrations in Tehran, Zahedan, and Isfahan, with chants of "death to the dictator" and scenes of fires, overturned cars, and clashes with security forces. The country has been under a near-total internet blackout since Thursday evening, making reporting and communication extremely difficult. This has caused panic buying in cities like Shiraz as residents fear shortages of essentials. U.S. response. Former President Donald Trump weighed in from the White House, warning that Iran was in big trouble. He stated, "We will be hitting them very hard where it hurts. Any U.S. involvement does not mean boots on the ground." Trump noted that some cities appeared to be taken over by protesters in ways not expected a few weeks ago, and reiterated that Iran would face consequences if it continues to target demonstrators. International reaction. The leaders of the UK, Germany, and France issued a joint statement expressing deep concern over violence against protesters and calling for the protection of freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric also condemned the loss of life, emphasizing that governments must protect citizens' rights to protest. Iranian authorities' response. Iran's National Security Council and the intelligence arm of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, issued warnings against protests, labeling demonstrators as armed vandalists and terrorists, and promising decisive and necessary legal action. Calls for external support. Reza Pahlavi, son of Iran's last Shah, urged Trump to be prepared to intervene to help the people of Iran, encouraging citizens to continue demonstrating. Background. The protests began on 28 December, with shopkeepers in Tehran reacting to the collapsing currency. They have now escalated to nationwide demonstrations reminiscent of the 2022 protests following the death of Mahsa Amini in morality police custody, which led to over 550 deaths and 20,000 detentions. Closing summary. Iran faces a rapidly escalating crisis. The Supreme Leader has vowed to crush destructive elements, international leaders are urging restraint, and the U.S. has signaled a firm stance. With internet access largely cut off, the true scale of the protest may remain hidden as tensions and casualties rise.